This is John Stewart, Green Lantern of Sector 2814, and you are listening to Geek Talk.
This is Professor Charles Xavier. There are more powerful mutants out there, but they're listening to Geek Talk.
What's up, everybody? It's Brad Hawkins, Ryan Steele from VR Troopers. We are VR, and you're tuned in to Geek Talk.
This is Dr. Egghead. How am I supposed to conquer the world and build the Eggman Empire if they're always listening to Geek Talk? Hedgehog!
This is the Didact. Humanity's imprisonment is a kindness, but not while listening to Geek Talk.
This is Ryu from Wreck-It Ralph, and you're listening to Geek Talk.
Hadouken!
This is Marek Ishtar. Let the shadow game begin. You're listening to Geek Talk.
This is Juno Eclipse. I've got a bad feeling about this, but you're listening to Geek Talk.
This is Commodore Don Krieg of One Piece. Don't ever defy me. Listen to Geek Talk. That is an order.
This is Lion-O, and you're listening to Geek Talk. Thunder, 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 Thundercats! Ho!
Hey, it's James Arnold Taylor, the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm Master Plo Koon, and I sense the Force is strong with Geek Talk. Master Plo, do you talk geek? Koto-ya, Obi-Wan. Koto-ya. Oh, Koto-ya indeed. Now, if anybody else can figure out what he's talking about, let's listen to Geek Talk.
Alrighty, and today we, on Geek Talk and That Nerdy Webshow, we got two podcasts going on with this recording at the same time. We have me, Tony, you're part of the hosting, and then we got, who else? Let's go around the table.
Josh, you want to start it off?
Wait, there's a table?
There is a table.
Well,
there's a table.
Imaginary table. I got my computer's on a table, so we'll just call it. It's on the table.
There we go.
Oh, okay. I was not informed that there was a table. I was more informed that there was just a spinning office chair.
Okay, we get it. Let's go.
Josh, please. Yeesh.
Sorry.
Already off on a tangent.
Absolutely. So are you going to say anything, Josh?
Oh, crap! Opal.
Hello. That's me.
Well, we can use actual names here, so.
Yeah, I'm Andrew, also known as Opal. Then.
Alrighty.
Corey.
Then we got Corey.
Yep, the resident fat guy.
Then we got Josh, of course, the leader of their pack.
You know him well.
I wouldn't so much call him a leader as the guy who just signs off on things.
Request for biscuits.
Well, okay, he's the one who signs the paychecks almost.
We wish.
The invisible paychecks.
Yes, I love those things.
Those are the best paychecks.
And I just met Patrick a little while ago, so...
That is correct.
So,
yes.
Today, whatever you want to call it, we are going to go over some of the worst things that could happen on for a podcast when you're recording.
Yeah.
Part of it.
Oh, there's a lot of them.
Oh, there's a few things. Yeah.
Wasn't there one time whenever if a host doesn't record his own voice?
Yeah, I believe that was something like last night when my recording software. Yes, I've had that happen a few times where my recording software just completely fucked up.
Hey, it's technology. What are you going to do?
Exactly. And tonight, the explicit language is on the table, so you can actually do it.
It is?
I actually am not going to be doing... I am not going to take and limit it tonight because this is going directly to YouTube, so...
Okay.
Alright, Corey, bend over. I'm going in dry.
I am unfiltered this evening.
Well, we will limit some of it. We'll limit some of it.
Okay, we're fine with that.
So, but...
Got it all out of the funny when they happen to guys. I like that. That's good.
But basically, though, that is one thing that happened...
Wait, say one at a time?
Go ahead, Patrick.
Oh, no, don't worry. I was just saying that's actually a semi-joke. I wasn't really joking all that much, but that's another thing for another time.
Well, basically, though, the recording software last night, we were messing around with it, and all of a sudden the Skype messed up on my laptop.
We were almost done with the episode, too.
Right.
Beautiful
And
times.
then the recording software messed up. So, that is one thing that can go wrong in a recording of a podcast.
Just a small thing. We're starting off with very small things.
Exactly. One of the second things I'd like to say is when not everybody shows up.
How many times has that happened?
That happens like every episode.
Okay, for us, yeah, but we have enough people that it doesn't really matter whether they're here or not.
Some would argue we have too many people.
Yeah, standard podcasts are really 2 to 3 people, and we have way too much, all the time.
Actually, no, it's usually just us 4.
Yeah.
That's still borderlining on a little bit. I mean...
See, Geek Talk used to be just me, so... And then I had people come on, or so on and so forth, so... And that was just fine with me, being by myself, because then I could wing it. After all, none of your listeners don't exactly know me personally, because I've never been on your show.
And they don't know us on yours. So.
Wait, we have listeners?
We will.
Yeah, all 2 of me.
So, but yes, basically, I'm used to winging it on over the air, just because of the fact that I've been in radio for 4 years now.
Right, you actually do stuff for a living with this kind of thing. So, commendable.
So, like tonight, if we have a mistake, it's winging it, I call it. We don't have a script, we don't have anything set up to go as a downfall.
Or you could do like we do and just blame Patrick.
Oh, we don't blame Patrick, we blame Steven.
Yeah, that's true.
Patrick is just there.
I blame everybody.
So, but another thing that could go wrong is Skype could really mess up.
Oh yeah, Skype crashes.
You mean all the time? You mean every single day you use Skype?
Well, about at least half the time for me.
That's true.
We've only had that happen about 3 or 4 times.
So what do you do to fix that? Skype goes out. Oh no!
Okay, basically, if it's the memory I/O error,
yep.
You take and this is a hack that I actually looked up. Is you go into your control panel, you go into folder options, and then you take and go to view. You scroll down to where it says hidden files and folders. You click on show hidden files and folders, hidden files, folders, and drives. Then you go into your main documents or your main account, user's account. Go to app data.
I know that folder.
Go to roaming.
Right.
Then you go to Skype.
Okay.
And then you take and look for the folder that has the username that you're using right there.
Right.
After you quit Skype, of course. And
does Skype ever really quit? Even whenever you press the X button, it's like, oh, I'm still here.
Oh, you can right-click and quit.
Yeah, that's how I do it every time, because I get tired of hearing that stupid notification sound. It's awful.
Yeah, but you can turn that off, too.
And then you guys are talking about anime. I'm like, shut up. Die.
See, you can actually turn those notifications off. So
I could, or I could just exit Skype so that nobody can call me, nobody can do anything.
That's true, too.
Or you just disconnect the internet completely. Boom.
How to disconnect your face.
So, but basically, though, that's how you fix a Skype error for the most part.
And you said there was another mess up that you could have with Skype, or?
Well, your internet connection could fail.
Oh, absolutely. Those are beautiful.
Yeah, that's the only other thing that could happen with Skype is the errors, the I/O error, and your internet connection.
And that's when you just play the technical difficulty music and move on with your life.
Well, see, I don't exactly have technical difficulty music. Just
Oh, really?
No, I don't. I just take and fix it and move on. Depending on if but normally if I'm recording like live, like unlike we are right now, I basically take and try to get back on as soon as possible.
We tried recording live. It did not work. It did not work.
That was on me, and that ended up very horribly.
You want to talk about it then? Because we were just sort of going over it last time before the Skype failed.
Yeah, go right ahead for it.
See,
basically, Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Basically, we were just trying to be like, okay, cool. Let's try and do it live. Yeah, first episode. We got Psy Guy on our show. This, that, and another. Well, we tried doing it live.
Yep.
Wait, is this episode 1 we're talking about?
Yes.
This is about episode 1.
Now imagine episode 1.
Yeah.
One is the loneliest number that's
No, the non-existent number 1 episode, season 1.
If you're ever wondering why we call it non-existent, it does not exist on YouTube. We start right up with episode 2, and no one knows why except for us.
Yeah, we hit the ground running.
No, it's because I kind of fail at doing broadcasting on Ustream.
Kind of fail at everything, but we'll give you some leeway there.
Dude,
and to be honest, we could easily do Google Hangout, which is actually amazing once you know how to use it.
I actually was talking to Geek Talk about that, and we were about to before it was like, well, I usually use Skype, and I was like, we do too! We have so much in common.
Yeah, see, we were going to do it last night, but because of the fact that it would have required a little bit more technical difficulties if I did it that way, which I already know how to fix the Skype if I mess up. But yes, I've used the Google Hangout, which is actually a really good program to an extent.
Okay.
It's to an extent, of course, because you have your pixelated images, basically. It ends up completely pixelated at some point.
Well, I mean, Google Hangout's just, I think, perfect just for talking for, like, a long time. You can record, like, up to 4 hours, and I think that's really cool.
Right, and you could record it to your YouTube channel, too.
Yeah, directly, yeah, which I think is really cool.
So,
and then they got us, where all we basically do is just record for about, like, we record for about an hour, and they're like, okay, bye, everybody, and then everybody just, like, goes fuck off and
the
do whatever.
most awkward stop ever, and we are great at it.
Or or Corey's just like, all right, we gotta go. I gotta poo.
And then we all just sort of fall offline.
Bullcrap!
So.
You had to leave once because either 1, you were cooking chicken, or 2, you said you had to go crap.
Cooking chicken.
Cooking chicken. Something about that sounds really funny to me. I don't know why.
So, I think it was chicken or it was pasta. I can't remember. Oh, wait. But
It might have been pasta. I think it was pasta.
but basically, yeah, Google, I've had my issues with Google Hangout, which, of course, everybody does eventually.
Yeah, it's not perfect. I mean, yeah, it's fumbles.
Right. It's got its errors, like all programs, so... And I should know with being a programmer myself, I actually have a degree in computer programming, so...
Nice.
So, yes, that's what I wish I could get a job doing it, so... And, yeah, it's... Like all programs, it has its glitches. So... But, yeah, I mean, that's something that can happen is with, like, one time this has happened to me in an interview, is Skype messed up on me during an interview with a celebrity.
Oh, boy.
And if you haven't
Which
seen
one
anything...
was this?
Which one should we start with? It started with Carrie Keranen was one.
Okay.
If you couldn't tell, there was a slight glitch in that one while listening to it.
I'm not sure if I watched that one.
Yeah, she was actually the second voice of Mokuba Kaiba in that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and it happened recently with Tom Kane, where that was basically my internet connection kind of thing. So, but we got through that one. I was able to work with it. So, yeah, I've actually had a few times where it's glitched out on me. So
wow.
But I mean, you brush yourself off and move on.
Yeah.
So yes, and some of the things that could happen on a podcast is you fly off topic.
Wait, that's a problem. Oh my god, we've been doing it wrong this entire time.
Because sometimes it ends up you have a topic that you're going on, have people interested, and then you fly off and go, oh, and this happened. Oh, okay.
Photocopying sandwiches.
Yeah, I think that's actually very closely linked to another one of the problems with podcasts, and that's when one person kind of dominates it in one way or another. Like, they just talk over everyone, and they talk probably for 90% of the podcast. Now, I don't know which one of that is, but I'm just saying, like, that happens.
Yeah.
Well, it actually happens a lot.
So who do you think it is, though? Who do you think talks the most?
Who? That's difficult. I think Steven is the best at butting into other people's conversations, but I know I've been guilty of it quite a few times.
Yeah, Steven butts in bad.
So.
Yeah, and then he gets on like this really depressing topic of like him. He's all depressed because he's single and this, that, and another. Like, hey, dude, we're trying to record the web show, not record a freaking episode of Jerry Springer's
life.
How to not commit suicide.
Don't talk to me about life.
This isn't the suicide note show. Come on now.
Yeah.
This isn't. But just no. I mean, like, we can have a serious conversation going about God knows what. Like I can't remember. I can't think of anything offhand right now
About female characters in gaming, and he'll bring up the fact that he doesn't have a girlfriend. There you
go.
Congratulations, you're single. You wonder why? This is why.
Wait, so he always makes it about him, basically.
Yeah, more or less.
That's funny. That's funny to me.
I mean, yeah, once in a while we butt in and be like, hey, we've had this has happened to us or something like that, but we don't describe our whole entire freaking life story. Like,
I remember there was one episode recently where I did that so badly that I actually put a counter up with every single time that I said something over top of someone else, and it actually made it pretty funny. Got a little dinging noise in the background and everything.
Yeah, I caught part of that episode.
Yes.
So that was interesting. I was sitting there like, okay.
Oh man.
So, but basically, that is one thing that can happen: is your guests.
Yeah.
You could end up interrupting your guest. So, I agree with that.
I got another one though. Let's talk about background noise.
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Dogs, kids, parents.
Yeah.
TV.
Happens too often, and it's not even our podcast; it's any podcast in general. Like, the amount of times it's always like something happening in the background, and sometimes it's funny. Like, sometimes it's something really hilarious. Like, it depends, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's the unintentional like stuff breaking. It's like, oh shit, or someone all of a sudden bust in and. Oh, you're talking about my mug breaking?
I remember that. Go ahead and tell us.
Rest in peace, mug.
It's still sitting on my desk as a reminder. Yeah, so I was drinking some green tea, and I don't know what happened. I think I got a little too ecstatic about something I was saying, and I whacked my mug clean off my desk onto my tile floor, and it made the most fantastic exploding sound ever.
I think we were talking about something.
Wow.
As soon as we started talking about it, you're like.
Wasn't it like a few seconds later that Josh hit his head?
Yeah, it was.
I didn't hit your head on
a few seconds afterwards.
But basically, yeah, I myself usually try to do doing my podcast usually in a quiet room. So that way you don't have to worry about that. But then I live alone too, so.
That always helps.
You poor soul.
Well, at the moment, yeah, I live alone, but in the future, I'll probably be living with my son and his mom and sisters. But yes, my son, he lives in Pier, which was where I was this weekend. So.
Okay, yeah, for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, for Valentine's Day weekend, I spent it with my son, and his name's Lucas, of course.
Yeah, no question where you got that one.
Of course.
Star Wars fans, represent.
What is going on?
Well, see, I'm actually a Star Wars fan. So, basically, I named my son after Luke Skywalker, originally.
Oh, I thought it would have been after George Lucas.
Well, at first people thought that, but I was like, originally I planned it for Luke Skywalker. Because he was one of my favorite characters in the Star Wars trilogy originals.
Right.
So, and that's where I look at it. I'm like, what would work with my last name, which a lot of people have a hard time pronouncing. So,
what is your last name?
It's Borghank.
It just says Borghank?
Yeah, Borghank. Borghiinck.
Double I's, oh my.
So, yes, that was where I was trying to figure out, okay, how do we do that without actually making it sound cheesy?
Yeah, you could call him Yoda.
Well, that's a little bit too obvious.
Oh yeah, I'm sure your wife would love a son named Yoda.
That's a little too far.
It rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, but it doesn't go very well with the last name.
Right.
So,
I don't think it would go good very well with any name in general.
Right. But yeah,
No,
I
really.
actually do I'm a kind of a fan of a little bit of Yoda and everything else.
Well, of course,
so.
you have the voice going on for you.
Well, of course, and I was thinking on doing a cosplay this year for if I can get the costume set up right.
Really?
Yeah, where I would
better
actually
send me
not...
pictures.
Where if I did get it going, it would not sound cheesy. Or
Right.
seem so cheesy because of the fact that most of the time your people that dress as Yoda actually took and dress as tall Yodas. You know how cheesy that looks? Granted, it's fun.
Sure.
It's a fun cosplay, but why do a tall Yoda?
Yeah, cosplaying, you really need to find a character type that fits you. Like,
Exactly.
I have the long hair myself, so I'm like, yeah, I can't
Princess Peach.
really... Yeah, there you go. I could go as Princess Peach.
And we can always get
Sound like a Princess Peach with smoker's cough.
But
Hey,
basically,
Mario,
the way I look at it, the way I'm going to look to cosplay Yoda when I do figure out how to do it and have the money to do it, is I'm going to have him sitting on a rock or a log.
Okay, and then the log would move.
Then you could have, basically, it's going to be a cardboard box that I can use like straps to hold up over my shoulders.
Right.
All right. I guess I can see where you're going with this.
Throw a kind of a tan or beige kind of cloak thing over top of it, of my shoulders with actual brown t-shirt, and
Right.
have the hands be my hands at the same time as the feet would be kind of like a felt feet.
Well, you don't even really need the rock or the log. Doesn't Yoda usually have that hover chair?
Not always. That's only in the prequels.
You wouldn't want to represent the prequels now, would you?
Well, I was thinking more or less the Yoda that was in the original trilogy, kind of like Yoda. I figured this way I don't have to exactly have the hover chair.
Yeah.
In fact, he actually only had the hover chair in episode 1 and 2.
Right.
Otherwise, he was actually mobile on his feet.
Okay. And he is very good at that, too, especially in the fight against Count Dooku.
Right, and he was also fighting against stormtroopers and the Emperor himself.
Yeah.
So, yes, so that's my idea for a Yoda cosplay.
Okay.
It's never been done before.
So, what would you do about loud pets?
About loud pets?
Episode. Loud pets, yes.
Unfortunately, Unfortunately, I have not had anything like that because I don't have any pets.
Oh, that's always good. But you've never had any special guest who was like, "Oh yeah, and here's my dogs," and all of a sudden just noise everywhere.
Oh man, yeah.
Depends on how
a nuisance.
Depends on the dogs if they're because the fact that some of those dogs can be tamed with more of a treat.
Yeah.
Or you can actually take and have them just sitting next to the owner as just while they keep them calm.
That could work. I mean, we were sort of trying to ignore the dogs whenever they come up in Josh's area. He owns 2 very loud, obnoxious dogs, and it's interesting because...
2?
You?
2? Dude, you've been to my house. I have 6.
6? I don't think I've seen that many at one time.
They all bark at once.
Well,
but no,
that's
so we
why...
just ignore them, and his parents are not the quietest whenever they're trying to calm them down, that's for certain.
So, but...
Yeah.
Pro tip, move out of your parents' house.
Yeah.
Pro tip, I'm not getting an apartment.
Well,
oh really? Why not?
That's understandable. I mean, and the trick would be is if you can find like a little shed in the back or something that you could probably work if you have a laptop or something. A nice quiet area. It don't matter how big the area is. I mean, heck, go to the bathroom. Into the bathroom one night. One person actually took and did as they.
I've actually tried that with, I think our latest episode we did, I went outside.
Oh yeah, weren't you in your car?
Yeah, I brought an extension cord.
Did it work?
Yes.
I just remember you saying before that you were like, "Hey, I'm gonna try this, see if it works."
Yeah, I brought an extension cord. Like I brought okay. Quick story. Basically, I was at my sister's friend's house. I had my laptop. I was ready to do the web show. This, that, and another. The only place they had that was close to a plug-in was their sofa. So I sat on the sofa, got everything set up, and until I'm like, you know what, I can't take this anymore. I went outside, grabbed the closest extension cord, hooked that bitch up to my computer, rolled down my window, put my laptop in my car on the freaking dash, bam, web show, done, A+.
See, that's an idea. I mean, or if you could get to a library with a laptop.
Right.
Libraries.
I live in the ghetto, dude.
Hey, just...
I'd feel so bad
that ghettos don't have libraries? You know what you're trying to say?
No. We don't have a library down here, dude.
And even then, I would feel really bad for that. Like, aren't you supposed to be quiet in a library? Which is great, because no one's going to be talking around you.
Some libraries have, like, meeting rooms.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I
once heard. I once heard someone played a 360 in a library. They're playing Xbox in a library.
I'd do that. I'd do it. Like, no
How did they get away
party.
with it? How did they get away with it?
Easy. Hey, I need a meeting with my clan mates on Call of Gears of Halo Theft Auto 5.
Oh, man.
Wow. The way you came up with that.
Machinima.
But yeah, that is one way you can actually keep from having all that noise, is having go to a nice quiet area. Like right now, I don't know if you could tell any very much background noise in my area.
Just the white noise from the air around the microphone, but that's common.
Right. Well, basically, I have my TV on, I have my furnace on, is going.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You can't hardly tell.
You have a really close-range microphone.
I have a headset microphone.
Oh, that would do it, yes.
Oh, man, mine picks up everything in a 5-mile radius.
Yeah, Corey has the Blue Yeti, and I have a Samsung CO1U. So both of ours, it's like the entire room is just loud as heck.
I was going to go with a CO1U originally, and then I found this one at a pawn shop. And I was like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Take a guess how much this microphone cost.
How much?
$27.
Around close, but around $20 at Walmart.
Is it a Logitech by chance?
Let me take a look. I can't remember off the top of my head. Yes, it was. Yes, it is.
Good
Logitech.
guess. Good guess.
See, I use a Turtle Beach X12.
Yay, listing microphone brands. If anyone wants to buy these, go out. They work.
Yeah, we're not sponsored by any company.
I know.
We wish we were.
Exactly.
No, our awful podcast will probably turn people away from these products.
Well, basically, though, it's not all awful podcasts. I mean, basically, it depends on how well you can use how well your hosts are, and how sometimes it depends on how your actual headset works, at the same time as how interested you can keep things.
Right.
I mean,
so bad and bad. Yay!
I don't know exactly about bad and bad, but
yeah.
But wait, if you have two bads, wouldn't you technically be Breaking Bad?
No, actually, that would be if you took.
Are you kidding me? No, I'm sorry, Josh. You reached so hard. You reached so hard for that. That was terrible.
It was a pun. I can't not just like a bad pun.
No, he pulled out his Go-Go Gadget arms for that one.
Okay, this is where I'm going to correct you on that. The only way that you could be Breaking Bad is if you're breaking a Justin Bieber CD.
All right, I'll give you that.
Oh man,
that was some cheese if I ever seen it. That was some cheese.
Hey, I didn't reach too hard for that one.
Yeah, you didn't. All right.
So. All right, guys, we don't belong to this state anymore. Let's go to Wisconsin.
Oh my goodness.
Wisconsin.
Yes.
Well, why not California? Isn't that where they got some pretty good cheese? I mean, the cows
Do they
are
have
always
cheese
there.
over there?
Well,
I know Wisconsin is known for their cheese, but...
Well, I see the commercials all the time. California cheese.
California cheese. I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah,
California is wasting all of their budget on cheese commercials, apparently.
Well, I don't know exactly
I just saw their budget deficit. Cheese commercials.
Well, actually, they might be wasting their water that way, too.
Actually, if I remember correctly, and the number is going to be skewed, because I don't remember the exact figure, but I was listening to another podcast that's really good, and I'm not going to mention any names, because, we'll probably turn people away from them, but someone brought up an issue of water conservation, specifically water conservation hippies, the water Nazis.
Oh, so
and
Peter.
No,
that's
water
environmental
Nazis.
protection of animals.
Yeah, well, people for ethic of animals. Regardless.
Oh, where 80% water still counts.
Yeah,
Water
it was
some people too, man.
It was something like 70 or 72% of California's water usage is by almond farmers. No other agriculture. It's almond farmers.
Almond farmers. Oh, wow.
Yeah, because apparently California produces most of the world's almonds or something to that effect. I don't know. I don't have stats in front of me, but man.
That's a lot of almonds.
Yeah, and something like the water conservation effort, of individuals washing their cars and stuff, that only accounts for like 2% water savings. Industry and agriculture uses so much more. So
that makes sense.
So, I'm not washing my car. My car is filthy and my grass is dead. all because I can say 1% of the water. Go to hell. I'm going to water my shit.
Percent of water.
So, but basically, I've heard of almond milk and all that, and I guess I've never really tried it.
I've actually tried it. It's actually really delicious.
There you go.
I don't care for it.
But I didn't know you can milk nuts.
No, they don't actually milk the nuts. They actually take and do they kind of grind it up into a kind of a milk type thing. The insides.
Okay, I want my nuts grounded in the milk.
So they don't just grab it like a nutter and squeeze it. That's not how it works.
And
No.
that would be strange. That would be disturbing. What are
You're
you talking about?
You're talking to me.
My nuts just
You're
hurts.
talking to me about being strange and disturbing.
I know. I'm just saying.
It could be
But
worse.
basically, no, it's kind of like peanut butter, only it's more water,
Right.
kind of thing. It's like a certain percentage of the almond whites inside, the actual, not the outside shell. It's the inside part of it.
Okay.
That
Have any of you ever had cashew butter?
Cashew
Good.
butter?
I haven't actually. No.
I didn't even know there was a such thing.
Any kind of nut you can think of, there's butter for it. Always.
Oh, really? I think I've heard of nutter butter.
Nutter.
Oh god, I'm gonna punch you through this microphone so hard.
Bring it on!
I'm just glad he didn't take that in a different route, because that could have been really bad.
What about man nut butter?
The testicle
guys.
nuts. Oh no. Okay. Off
Okay,
the topic.
guys,
So-
nothing matters for the moment. Just hold that thought. Everyone hold that thought.
Keep
The
going.
Last Guardian is trending on Twitter.
What?
What is the last Guardian?
Wouldn't surprise me.
The Last Guardian is one of the urban myths of gaming, along with Half-Life 3. And well, what used to be FF versus 13, but we know that's coming out. So now, yeah, it's just Half-Life 3 and The Last Guardian. Two of gaming sort of myths. It's trending, and apparently, what? Apparently they've abandoned the name.
What do you mean?
Apparently the name isn't being used anymore. Like
The name
Sony
The Last
abandoned the
Guardian?
name. Yeah.
Wait,
Huh.
wasn't the last Guardian supposed to be used
That was
like...
supposed to be for PS3. What is that?
No, I thought it was going to be like a freaking sequel to like some other game.
Yeah, it was supposed to be the third game in the Ico series, as an Ico and Shadow of the Colossus. This is supposed to be the third game. They announced this before the PS3 came out.
So now they're just not going to use it at all.
Dude, we're on PS4. What do you think?
So whenever you say some of these myths, it's sort of like the Half-Life thing that's going on?
Yes, I'm saying, yeah, just like the last, basically, the 4 gaming myths, like the games that were probably never going to come out, were Kingdom Hearts 3, FF versus 13, Half-Life 3, and The Last Guardian. We now know both KH3 and FF15 are both coming out, so now it's just Half-Life 3 and The Last Guardian, and apparently The Last Guardian isn't going to be The Last Guardian anymore.
Okay.
Well, chances are it's all been kind of... They changed so much, and it's as I talk about, is Hollywood's kind of... They've lost their ideas.
Did
I
they?
mean,
How so?
They have actually lost ingenuity in making actual good movies. I mean, look at how many sequels they've made.
Yeah, and the superhero movies. I actually did a report on that a while back. It was like, there were at least 2 Batman movies, 5 superhero movies, and the rest were sequels in the list of top 10 box office hits recently.
I don't necessarily think sequels in and of themselves are bad. I just think, a bad movie's a bad movie.
Well, look at the reboots. How many different
Like the
reboots
Amazing
is
Spider-Man?
That's one. That was, in my opinion, to be frank, a fucked up job.
Wait, which one?
The first one was especially fucked up. Because if you look closely...
Amazing Spider-Man.
The Amazing Spider-Man, if you look closely, first things I had to gripe about is Spider-Man's shoes are the same as
Spider-Man's
Peter. If you look at his shoes, they are the same thing as Peter Parker and Spider-Man. They are the same shoes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Look closely at his shoes the next time you watch it.
Okay.
They're the same shoes.
Okay.
The next is basically, in my opinion, how many times do you ever see Spider-Man take off his mask in public?
Well, he's really not supposed to, except for that one time. In that
You can't.
No. That one time where he kissed Mary Jane.
Well,
yeah,
he
but that
didn't.
wasn't really even taking it off.
That was the original movie, though.
Right, that was in his
We're talking
original-
Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, I never watched it. Didn't like it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There is some entertainment value in those movies, but the first one was bad and the second one was worse.
Well, see, the entertainment value, the action was good, the storyline sucked.
Yep. Exactly. Thank you.
And
That's
basically,
exactly
I
how
will
feel
take
about
and
it.
say this much, is, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't the lizard look like a computer-generated Goomba?
A
Yes.
Goomba. I missed
You
the
remind me
Goomba.
of Bowser from the Mario movie.
Well,
Feel like we got
yeah,
Bowser
Super Mario
somehow.
Brothers, he looked more like a computer-generated Goomba. I mean, and that's
I mean, I
another
didn't
beef
think-
I had with him. So, that's another beef I had with it. I mean, it's like...
Saying like the lizard guy kind of looks like a Goomba is saying like the new. I'm gonna jump a little bit overboard real quick. Saying that the new turtles from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles kind of look like Koopa Troopas.
Well,
Not really, because...
no, they just look like shit.
I think
Well-
everybody just loves to hate the Hasbro movie. That's what I think.
Well, the
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles was... My biggest beef about them is they focused way too much on Megan Fox.
Did they? I heard in the movie they didn't really. It was only for like the first 20 minutes or so.
Basically, try this. Is for the first part of the movie, majority of it was Megan Fox. For the second part, is they go Turtles, Megan Fox. Turtles, Megan Fox.
Well, I mean, no, but I mean, okay, fine. I can see that, but isn't April O'Neil kind of important to Turtles?
Yeah, but not in the sense that they actually put it as. I mean, April was... I mean, the storyline that they did for the Turtles was that the Turtles were her pets. And the mutagen was actually physically needled in. Basically, that's where the storyline... Most people who know the Turtles know they did not take and get injected with mutagen.
Yeah, well, okay, well, but yeah, I know that, but I'm saying it's a retelling, though, so I don't think we should be ripping our hair out over lore. When has a comic book movie ever stayed to the lore 100%?
That's true.
Like, ever.
Never?
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, comic book lore is just difficult to pin down because you have this wide expanse of comic books and you have 2 hours to fit it all in.
Well, see, part of that is I wasn't exactly going off comics. I was going off the cartoons.
Well, yeah, the cartoon. I mean, I did said that in a general way. Like, when I don't think there's ever been a situation where like a superhero movie's ever stuck to the lore.
But even with the comic or the cartoons, the theory holds true. You have hours upon hours of cartoon episodes, and then you need to fit that into a 2 hour time span, or 3 hours recently, because that's apparently the new movie time.
Not only just that, like you have like two really long ass stories for like if you follow the cartoon, like the whole Shredder thing, and then they got the whole.
Okay,
fucking,
this is another thing. I know they're trying to bring Shredder into the 21st century, but his swords, 3 swords that basically you can shoot out. I mean, look at it. It's like throwing knives almost.
Well, I hate to be argumentative.
There you go.
I
That's
think
the word.
the reason for that is, I mean, no, because I'm saying like the only reason I do this is because I hate when people just say stuff and go unchallenged, and I'm just going to be that douchebag who challenges everyone. But anyway, no, no. The only reason I think that they did that because I can see why you'd think it's stupid, but I think it's like if you compare it to original Shredder, which is effectively just a guy with a two-bladed gauntlet, which doesn't really seem intimidating, against giant turtles with giant weapons. I figured they had to make the threat a bit more like exciting than literally a guy with a two-bladed gauntlet. Because that's what Shredder basically was, a guy with a two-bladed gauntlet.
Well, I'm not necessarily going off of the... If you look at some of the Shredders changed over the years. I mean, I can see where Nickelodeon was going with it, but it was just too much computer generation for Shredder.
Well, that's Michael Bay. That is Michael Bay in a nutshell. Let's make things over the top with special effects.
I will correct that. Is Michael Bay just produced it. He didn't actually direct it. He produced it. If you look at it, he produced it. He didn't direct it.
Okay.
What's the difference in a producer and a director, anyway?
Producer is just the guy that actually gets the movie out in theaters and actually provides the money to make the movie. So it's kind of like Fox.
So he didn't actually have much of a say involved, or
he didn't actually have much of a say. The guy that directed had more say than Michael Bay. So
sort of downplays on producers there a little bit.
Well, Michael Bay, I mean, look at Transformers. He did a heck of a job in Transformers.
Well,
to an extent.
Did he really? Yeah, I mean, in the first one, I didn't mind the first one, but then it sort of,
Well, you can only bring so many Transformers into CG.
This is true.
I mean, some people might argue that the Transformers in the last one, the Age of Extinction, that the Dinobots didn't say anything. They actually did say something. It was all in the Transformer language.
Yeah, their native language, right.
Right.
But
which basically said where it was actually translated in caption on the ship.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Basically, though, the Transformers, it was decent. I was just disappointed in how they brought some of the Transformers out, as far as Dinobots.
Right.
I mean, because you got Swoop, basically, which is now a 2 to 3 headed Dinobot. Which basically, if you remember the cartoon or even the original movie,
that was a little old for my time.
Well, it goes to show how old I am.
Yeah.
So, it was basically a one-headed pterodactyl.
Right.
Swoop has always been a one-headed pterodactyl. I could see they're bringing it, trying to make him exciting, trying to make him so, should I say, badass?
Edgy,
everything.
I don't think 3 heads is edgy, though, is it? I mean, unless somebody somewhere thinks that's edgy, in which case...
Well, I really don't consider it edgy. I think it's more of a, should I say, pushes the limit to almost Herculean proportions.
Yeah. Hydra reference. Oh, man.
Right. So, for me, it's like, okay, I guess the action was good. The storyline was somewhat okay for the Dinobots, but, I mean, to bring them into this as the way they were, I mean, Grimlock. You didn't even, you could hear the Dinobots talk, but which one? I mean, but basically, Grimlock never even spoke. He didn't even go to Transformer mode until toward the end of the movie.
Right.
So, yes. And for him to not even speak, then say that he was the leader of the Dinobots or whatever, it makes people like, huh? Why?
Yeah, for those people that actually watched the cartoon series and whatnot, that must have been pretty confusing.
Yeah. I mean, tell you what, though, it's nice to see someone actually make a valid criticism of Transformers besides, oh, it's a mainstream popcorn flick or whatever. It's like, I hear that all the time. It's like, I would appreciate your criticism if it wasn't the same thing everyone says 24/7. Like, I'd appreciate someone's opinion of Transformers if it actually made sense and was informed by something.
I enjoyed it. I mean, don't get me wrong. The action is good. It was just the storyline was kind of... It needed more body, should I say.
Yeah, like, I can agree with that. Like, exactly. Like, I can 100% agree that while I don't necessarily think the film was, like, complete garbage or anything, like, I really enjoyed it, but I definitely had some gripes, at least with the story structure and like how it introduced some of the characters, as you said. And that's a criticism I would give. It's just that I hate when people effectively just sort of write off the whole thing.
Well, I mean, in a way, the complaints are very similar, because usually what everyone complains about is there's too much CGI, there's not enough going on.
Yeah,
which,
it's like,
I mean, it sort of fits in. They're just not giving specific examples as to why this is the case.
Well,
so
see,
it sort
the
of
thing
combines
is
the two
nowadays, you're gonna get CGI no matter what.
Right, but that doesn't need to be the prime focus of it.
Exactly.
Is what I'm saying.
And that's where a lot of people don't see that this is the 21st century. We need to take and realize computers are all going to be a part of it.
Yeah.
No matter which way you look at it.
Right. But you don't need to take 10 minutes showing off, hey, look, I can do this. We already know you can do this.
I mean, no, but it's like, shouldn't it be we appreciate CGI where it's appropriate? Let me put it to you this way. If you're complaining about CGI in a movie that could have done without it, that could have done more practical props and maybe not even use CGI, then fine. If you're complaining that Transformers has too much CGI, what the hell are you complaining about? Like, what are they supposed to be made out of? Cardboard? Like, come on.
Absolutely.
That would be pretty interesting.
Yes, I would watch that.
You know, the funny thing is I would have loved the actual cars, though, themselves, that the Transformers transformed into, were actual cars and trucks.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean, and the actual semi that was in the movie, the Optimus Prime, was driven around the country, the United States, with Peter Cullen around it.
Oh, what, really?
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
That's kind
he was actually around part of it at times. He would make an appearance at some of those places that the Optimus Prime truck showed up.
I've actually seen the Optimus Prime truck, but that was like back whenever it was just the first movie.
Right.
Yeah.
At the World of Wheels car show back in New Orleans.
Yeah, see, I actually, if we're going to go into cars and trucks, I actually seen when I was a kid years ago in South Dakota here, somebody actually had the General Lee.
What's that from?
In a parade.
Dukes of Hazzard. The Dukes of Hazzards.
Oh, okay, there you go.
So,
God, get with your communism. I'm joking.
I know.
What?
In fact, there is an actual an actual General Lee in South Dakota at a museum. At a car museum over in Myrtle. Small town in South Dakota, of course.
Right.
But yes, there is an actual General Lee.
Cool.
And we were speaking earlier, as I was going to say, is we were speaking earlier about things that could go wrong with background noise.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Somebody's doing that.
Yeah, what is that? Yeah, I didn't even realize until you pointed it out.
Oh, that's my... a cat being an idiot.
Wow.
Nice.
Well, and also, I was...
stirring.
Yeah, sorry, I was going to say, just as a disclaimer, I guess, to anyone listening, it's not necessarily that Transformers are, like, my favorite movies and I'll defend them to the death. That's not the point. I should point out one thing about myself personally.
You love
that I am... No. Okay, yes, but no. I I'm the type of person who I hate when people, especially when something's popular to hate. Like, I hate when people just mouth off about something when they don't really have a reason to, and they're doing it either sort of callously, they're doing it kind of like blasé-like they don't care, or they don't have legitimate reasons. Like, I hate when criticism isn't legitimate, and it's just something people say just, to blow hot air. Like,
Pretty much what just came out of your mouth was, I hate the internet.
No, because the internet is responsible for some really amazing things. And some
absolutely. And then there's the everyone else who reads that and then does exactly what you're talking about.
I know, you're right. But I'm just saying that I hate when people just, come up with dumb reasons for hating stuff that I just think is silly. Because it's like, for me, if I don't like something, I don't pay much attention to it. Therefore, I can't have an opinion on it because I don't pay much attention to it. But when someone doesn't like something and they just say something stupid about it, I'm like, well, how much has your opinion been informed to even say something like that? Like, you don't even like the stupid thing. You don't know anything about it.
A lot of it is people basically, it's not exactly the internet that's completely wrong with it. It's people listen to their friends. It's a matter of if their friends don't like it, maybe they don't like it.
Basically, it's a he said, she said thing.
Exactly. It's a matter of the fact that you take and have, should I say, word of mouth gets around.
Right.
I mean, people review stuff. I mean, I've watched different reviews of different shows. I mean, like Turtles. Before I watched it myself, I watched it. I was like, for some Turtle fans, some liked it, some didn't. But I was like, I'll reserve judgment till I watch it. I mean, take The Hobbit, for instance. How many people kind of grudged on The Hobbit because it didn't follow the books?
Yeah, and even then it did better than a lot of movies that I see today. But I guess it does have a very active fan base, even today.
I'm gonna have to kind of say what you're trying to say is kind of like what they're doing with the with the fucking Star Wars movie.
The Force Awakens, yes.
Yes, like when was it asleep?
I don't know when it was asleep. I mean, it might have went to sleep last night, for all we know. But,
it might have just took a little nap.
But wasn't it because there's only one Jedi left, and therefore the Force went unused?
Actually,
and now it's awakened because more people are using it or something? I thought.
Well, there's going to be Sith involved in this.
Is there? I didn't see the red lightsaber. No. That everyone else hated on.
Well, basically, it's going to be interesting. I look forward to seeing what it's going to be.
Oh, absolutely.
See, what a lot of things is a lot of expanded universe fans really got angry because Lucasfilm themselves, it wasn't Disney, it was Lucasfilm who took away and turned them into legends.
Right.
Is where it really started.
Also, I've heard a rumor about this, but isn't George Lucas not working as much on this project?
He is actually just mainly kind of consulting.
That's what I thought.
He is not actually involved as far as directing and everything.
And then there was another thing that I heard, like Disney had taken his notes and then just ignored it for some reason. And I'm not sure if that's true or not, so don't hold me to that.
I myself think
that
it's more... They took some of his notes probably, and it wouldn't surprise me that Lucasfilm for this would take and not use all of his notes, but I'm sure they'll take some of his notes. But the movie's already done and cut, and they have actually used quite a few more than just the original characters in this one.
Okay.
I have actually talked to Nick Joseph, who was actually the medal bearer in the first episode for A New Hope.
Uh-huh.
At the end of it, he was the medal bearer. And he actually said that they cast him, whether it's going to be on the cutting room floor or not, for a line.
Right.
Where he was telling his kids about the Battle of the Rebellion. His grandkids. So,
right.
Yeah. There's a lot of extras that were in the original trilogy that are in this.
Nice.
So,
I haven't actually read the books myself, so I don't know too much about the plot, but this is mostly about Luke's son or daughter or something?
This takes place 30 years after Return of the Jedi.
Right.
And it possibly might have his daughter. It might have his... We don't know yet. Everybody's excited for it, though.
Okay.
Even those fanboys who are griping and complaining that they took away our expanded universe.
My fandom doesn't count anymore. No one's going to read my fan fiction.
No, I mean, but the thing about Star Wars that people, I think, aren't quite grasping is, like, the problem is they're creating a sequel not to a beloved movie series, not to an old movie series, heck, not even to a critically acclaimed movie series. They are creating a sequel to a cultural phenomenon, and that's the problem.
Well,
because
part of that's
true. When you close the book, when you close the book on Star Wars, you effectively, for the next however many years, created this insane fan base, not insane in a bad way, but insane fan base, right, of people who love Star Wars. They love its lore, they love its characters, they love its, technology, all that kind of stuff, right? Star Wars is more than just a movie series. It's such a big impact on culture. It's created memes, jokes, it's created comics, it's created all these kind of things, right? Like, that's why Star Wars is so big. So to create a sequel to that with millions of fans, there's no way that film could please everyone. That could be the best Star Wars film, and no one's going to be happy. Like, that's how I see it. Like, that could literally be the best Star Wars film, and no one will be happy because, as I said, you can't, like, how can you create a sequel to something that huge and still think that you can, like, make everyone happy? Because you can't.
You mean like episodes 1 through 3? Yeah, no.
See, the thing is,
like,
George Lucas created a cultural phenomenon. I'll agree with that. But there's some people you will make happy, but there's people who have been dedicated believing that the books and video games have been canon all this time, yet George Lucas himself said that it wasn't exactly canon. Lucasfilms themselves never said it was canon.
Wait. So did the movies come before the books?
Yes, the movies came back when the year I was born. The first movie was when it came out.
Oh wow. Wow. That really puts things into perspective.
1977 is when the movies came out.
Okay.
The first movie. So, yeah. And 83 was when, I believe, 1983 was when the Empire Strikes Back came out. If I remember correctly, my history. And then,
you get it off by 1 year, YouTube will let us know.
But
the hordes of angry commenters.
Yep. But basically, though, it became a phenomenon within a 5-year radius. I mean, because the fact that I went and bought myself a few years ago, I'm an Star Wars action figure collector. Of course.
You're a Star Wars everything collector. You have an entire wall dedicated to autographs.
I have Star Wars autographs. I wish I had the Alec Guinness, who actually was Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, I wish I would have been able to get his autograph.
Right.
But nowadays, you can't actually get an authentic autograph of his. It's mainly preprints.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Which is basically, if I wanted a preprint, I'll just take it.
Photoshop, yay!
No. Still, this is why I think that, creating a sequel to that's why it's such a big deal. Like, it's crazy to think that there's going to be a Star Wars sequel. I mean, it's a bit like, Half-Life 3. Like, let me put it this way: if Half-Life 3 happened tomorrow, we just opened up Steam and it was just on the front page. Half-Life 3, download now.
No trailer,
no anything. We wouldn't know what to do with ourselves. Exactly, we wouldn't know what to do with ourselves. We'd be like, "What? It finally happened!" Like, years of my life spent waiting for this. It's finally here, and
it would
we
be
could
like
play it.
Halo 6.
It could be it could be literally Half-Life 3 could be. Forget the best Half-Life game. Forget the best FPS. It could be the best game ever created, and I would be like, I'm so angry right now. Like, why?
No, don't even worry about that. What would you, if they rubbed salt on the wounds and just out of nowhere, hey, here's Half-Life 4.
Well, see, also it could be like Halo. I mean, you got the Halo series. I mean, you got the action figures. You got, heck, you got the games. You got, Bungie no longer makes them, but 343 didn't do that bad of a job on Halo 4.
Right.
I beg to differ, but that's a story for another day.
I mean, I will have to say the multiplayer play wasn't that good, but the story of the actual single player game of the campaign wasn't that bad.
Yeah, 4 story is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So
and then obviously 5 is coming out this year.
Right, but I'm disappointed I can't get that for 360. So
looks like you got to upgrade to 1.
Yeah, well, I'll upgrade to 1 when I can afford to actually pay my rent without having to go paycheck to paycheck.
There you go.
Yeah, I understand that. It's funny that I'm not sure who said it, but like the joke about Half-Life 4, that's basically pulling a Windows 10. You skip Windows 9, you go straight to 10. And obviously, if Gabe Newell just suddenly says, "All right, fine, guys, you asked for it. Here it is, Half-Life 4," and we're like, "Excuse me, Half-Life 4."
So, what are you saying, Tony?
Okay, basically, speaking of Windows 10, did you guys know they're actually giving that out for free this year? When they bring it out?
Yeah.
It's actually going to be part of the upgrade.
I'm okay with
free
this.
for anyone who has Windows 7 and Windows 8, which is cool.
So not for Windows
if you got
Vista.
Vista, you're out of luck. That's your own fault.
Why do you still have Vista in 2015? That's why I want to know.
Well, see, my workplace actually has Vista yet, because of the fact of it was the key that I actually put on there because of the fact that they were using XP when they were doing the changeover.
Too bad of an operating system.
The thing, XP, basically, XP and 7 are both amazing. Like, that's the thing. The thing about Vista is that, if you get the highest Vista package, which is like Windows Vista Professional or whatever, right? And you turn off all the stupid notifications, and you turn off all the stupid programs, guess what? Windows Vista runs nicely. But you have to jump through hoops to make it do that.
Right,
and
it's
you have to
sort
pay
of
the
like
highest
Windows
price.
8 in that regard. If you go and download your own start button and get all the files running, then it's a pretty decent system. I have no problem with it.
Right.
And
See, Windows 8, though, you basically have to get around a lot of that stuff, though, for Windows 8.
Yeah, it didn't take too long to actually get it operable.
Right. See, my place of work bought the desktop I'm using right now is actually one of my old work computers, which actually had Windows XP on it, and I basically just completely put a new hard drive in it, and put Windows 7 on it.
Right.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm using Windows 7 as we speak, so I won't tell how I got it. I actually have a Windows 7 operating system disk, too, so.
You know what? I just want...
You just want what?
No, I just want to know why they skip straight to 10. Like, they didn't explain it. They just kind of said unveiling Windows 10 as if we can't count or something. Like we're stupid.
No, they're kind of in a way going into they skipped from Windows 98
and I was
to
just like,
2000.
what does this mean? Why are we on 10? What happened then?
It's kind of like
But those were the years they were released, weren't they?
No, actually, 2000 was released in 99.
What the heck?
Or just a little bit before that.
That still kind of makes sense, though, because that's years, not numbers.
Well,
but
they
did
also
skip
released...
straight to 7.
See, the thing is they had also ME before Windows 2000, which was the Millennium Edition.
Right.
So you're taking and telling me that, okay, we got Windows 2000, we got Windows ME. Okay, what's the difference?
The redundant.
Exactly.
The difference is that they're not bullshitting us and skipping from 8 to 10. That's the difference.
Or skipping from Vista to 7, yeah. Well, why would they even start with 7? Why did they start with 7?
I don't know.
Is that the number of operating systems that were out during the time?
I don't know. What kind of confuses me is the fact that they went from... They started with 90, whatever, then
98.
to 9... Yeah, 98. No, they had 97.
They had 95, 98. They went from 95 to 98. And then they went from 98 to ME.
Vista. Oh, yeah.
No, it was ME and Windows 2000 first, before Vista.
Yeah.
Then they went from...
And even then, there was XP in between there.
Right, they had XP, and then they went to Vista, which...
And then 7.
And then they went from Vista to Windows 7.
And then to 8, and then to 8.1, and...
Oh, maybe that's it. 8.1 counts as 9, maybe that's...
Oh my god, we figured it out, guys!
Yep.
Well, 8.1 was, from what I can guess, is probably the 8.5. So...
Okay.
We'll just call it 8.5.
Aye.
So...
Gotcha.
So, but basically, in my opinion, I've never gotten into Windows 8 myself.
Me personally, I'm sticking with I think I'm running Windows 7 or something.
Most people have 7 these days. Yeah, you're probably having 7.
Uh-huh.
The thing is with 10 is I'll wait until people have tested it. I'm not going to upgrade
I
straight away.
actually have a friend who's tested it, and he's actually he's already, because he's a actual programmer and got inside stuff like that, he's tested it and actually showed videos of it, of what it looks like.
Okay.
And it actually it's a combination of Windows 8 and the old school Windows.
Okay.
So, which is actually really good.
Which kind of old school?
Well,
whenever you
like
start,
Windows 7,
that...
it's got the Windows 7 type, or not exactly like the Windows 7 itself, but it's got the start menu, where it'll pop up a menu, and it'll have like the Windows 8 kind of icons, like say where your devices and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got that kind of stuff. So.
Okay, that sounds good.
It doesn't sound.
I was gonna say. I was gonna say if it's gonna be
Keep
funny
going.
if like one day you just fucking update Windows 10.
Well, that's pretty much what it's going to be
No,
if they're giving it to us for free.
No, you restart your computer for it to boot up.
Oh, I know what you mean. An auto update.
And then then all of a sudden everything's like Windows 98 to the point where you start up to hear that little crappy.
Wait. The scary thing is that's actually pretty feasible. Have you seen the amount of auto updates they've been doing recently?
Yes,
I
actually
that
have an
one
update
day
right now.
I'm saying, are you saying that one day Windows 7 will become Windows 98? Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm just saying that one day it's gonna goof up, and then everything's gonna update to Windows 98. But
wait, 98?
No,
what is this? Y2K virus?
I was gonna say is they're not gonna be going back to 98.
I know, because it would be horrible. The only fun thing they had for 98 was, Paint.
Actually, Windows 98 wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It was a pretty stable operating system. But then XP was just as good. So,
right.
I mean,
yeah, although the possibility of there being an auto update to 10, that would never happen because they know they're not going to force 10 on people. That would be stupid.
Well,
especially because
they'll give you the option. They'll give you the option to go to Windows 10.
They actually
have
my
major concern.
I think
I'm just
sorry.
No, just hold that thought. I'm just going to say because I think you all agree. My major concern with 10 isn't necessarily anything like, oh, I feel be buggy or whatever. My major concern is if all my programs are going to work. That's the thing that bothers me personally. Because basically, imagine a scenario you update to 10. Probably, but I'm saying, imagine a scenario you update to 10, nothing has compatibility. Your photos, your files, your programs, nothing. Nothing works. Like, that's what I'm afraid of. Like, that would be a nightmare.
I'm thinking that 10's going to have basically like the Windows 7, where it's going to have a compatibility mode.
Oh, you mean like the migrate function or whatever?
Right.
Because that doesn't work on Windows 8. They have that on here too, and it's like, nope. No, thank you.
See, Windows 8, that's the downfall of Windows 8. It was a bomb. It's been a pretty decent bomb, which is the reason why they're upgrading people for free.
Yeah,
right.
It seems like Windows 8 and the Windows Surface, both of those have been colossal failures for Microsoft.
Right.
Wait, wasn't the Windows Surface that fucking phone?
No, there's just the Windows
tablet.
Phone in general. Yeah, the Surface was the tablet.
See,
I know one person who had that phone, and he said it was so ridiculously stupid.
well, see, the thing is the downfall about Windows is they're starting to finally get into the touchscreen stuff. Like with the Windows Phone, you got the Windows Surface. The thing is they're trying to compete with Apple.
Next thing you know, you're gonna have the Windows VR.
Well, I mean, it's possible to complete
You mean
with
HoloLens?
You have the Samsung, which is going great against Apple.
Well, I mean, I don't like Apple, don't get me wrong, but they have the tablet market completely cornered. They are the peak. You know, you cannot beat them at that game.
Exactly.
iPad?
Yeah.
Yeah. At least for the
iPad,
tablet corner, I think the
iPod
only
Touch.
person... Oh.
You got the iPhone, you got the iPod Touch. I mean, granted that Samsung's come out with some pretty decent stuff with Android.
Yes. I have to agree with what they're doing with the whole Galaxy thing. They're doing good with the Galaxy. Don't get me wrong.
And everything is a Galaxy nowadays with Samsung. They have Samsung Galaxy digital cameras. They have Samsung Galaxy tablets. That's just their brand's name by now, is the Samsung Galaxy.
Yeah, but next thing you know, they're going to try. They're going. I'm just waiting for the fact that one day we're going to advance so far ahead that next thing you know, we're going to have the Samsung Galaxy fucking contact lens and like fucking. Everything's like everything's like ghost and shell shit.
Well,
yeah, they call it Google Glass.
One up, you Google Glasses.
They're going to try doing the next. We're going to go up. I mean, they've already come out with hoverboards.
Yes.
So
it started off as a scam too. Like the first time they released that, they were like, "Hey, Tony Hawk, get over here. We're going to trick a whole bunch of people." And then they actually came out with the hoverboard.
Yeah, a company out of Japan, I believe it is, that came up with it's basically a magnetic board. Centrifugal force type thing.
Right.
So, but
Which
I
isn't
think
quite the same, but you know.
Exactly. It's not exactly the same, but I think someday somebody's actually going to come up with actually doing the actual air hoverboard.
Right.
I mean, it can't be too far off. I mean, why not?
Hopefully.
Because you gotta.
Well, did anyone see that picture I posted on Facebook? Video I posted on Facebook the other day of the walking robots.
Walking robots. I don't think so.
Well, no, it's just company has created like several walking robots. One that looks like, well, not one that looks like, but basically two of them that operate kind of like dogs, and one of them that's like a standing robot. And like the first thing I thought when I saw it, I'm like, this is so Metal Gear-ish, because like it literally was just sort of like this big hulking thing with like these sort of spindly legs, and it like had like a motor that sounded like a chainsaw.
Well, I would think that would be more RoboCop-ish.
No, RoboCop, Terminator, whatever. Like the fact that like I saw something like this and it actually walked on its own. Like the thing is, they even tested it by like kicking it over and actually managed to like regain its balance.
Oh, really?
Tripped, and it tripped. Like it tripped on its own and got back up.
Like
the second I saw that. Like that's terrifying. Like this is how it starts.
Yeah, just like stumbled real quick. It's like, oh yeah, now I'm good.
So
like, why do we need robots to do this? This is the end.
No, it's better than having them pretend like they're walking while they're on their side.
Actually, it's kind of fun.
Yes, and we've been going for almost an hour and a half now.
Right.
Tonight, so I think it's about close time to wrap up, wouldn't you guys say?
That sounds like a good plan.
I mean,
how do you usually sign off? That's something we've never figured out.
Well, basically, usually I take and kind of do a catchphrase like, keep your feet on the ground and keep watching for the stars, but, I mean, just kind of... Well, this ain't G.I. Joe, though. We don't take and go, yo, Joe.
G.I. Joe.
No, there was like...
you're talking about the infomercials.
And now you know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Yeah, that was basically it.
So, but, yeah, basically, I usually just say something like that, so...
There you go.
I mean, kind of Casey Kasem type thing.
Ooh.
And that's part of where I got...
stuff.
Yeah, actually, his old... Rest in peace, Casey, but, yeah. I actually was listening to is somebody, one of the radio stations I was coming home yesterday, out
American
in the
Top
Pier
40?
area, was playing American Top 40.
Yeah.
So I was like, dang, that's old station. That's old stuff. So... But, yeah, we can wrap it up like that, if you want.
All right. That'll work.
All right. So, for That Nerdy Web Show and for Geek Talk, keep your feet on the ground and keep watching for those stars.